Aiden loved maps. He loved the way they showed him places he'd never been, places most people only dreamed of. The Whispering Jungle was one such place. Aiden had seen it on old maps. They called it unexplored, dangerous, a mystery. Aiden knew he had to see it. He packed his bag. He was ready for an adventure. Aiden wasn't going in unprepared. He had his trusty leather satchel. It held everything he needed for a good expedition. He had a compass, a map, his notebook, and a flashlight. He even had a first aid kit, just in case. Aiden was excited. This was his chance to discover something truly extraordinary. The jungle was even more impressive in person. Giant trees reached for the sky. Their leaves formed a thick canopy, blocking out the sun. The air was heavy and humid. Aiden trekked deeper into the jungle. He followed a narrow, overgrown path. He felt a sense of wonder with every step. He soon came across a sight that made him catch his breath. An enormous tree stood before him. It was the biggest tree Aiden had ever seen. Its roots were thick and gnarled, like the limbs of a giant monster. Aiden felt drawn to the tree. He decided to take a closer look. As he examined the giant tree, he noticed something shimmering under its roots. It was a compass, but not like any he had ever seen. It was made of a strange, dark metal. It had a blue jewel in the center that pulsed with a faint light. Aiden cautiously picked it up. The moment his fingers touched the compass, he felt a jolt of energy. The compass started to spin wildly. It glowed brighter. Aiden's heart pounded. He knew this compass was special. It wasn't like his usual compass. This one didn't point north. It spun and glowed as if trying to tell him something. He looked around, trying to understand. What was the compass reacting to? The jungle seemed to come alive around him. The leaves rustled louder. The air felt charged with energy. Aiden realized the compass wasn't just a tool for direction. It was a guide to something extraordinary, something hidden deep within the heart of the Whispering Jungle. He tucked the compass carefully into his satchel. He felt a surge of excitement. The jungle held secrets, and he was determined to uncover them. His adventure was just beginning. Aiden ventured deeper into the jungle, following the pull of the compass. The path was treacherous. Thorny vines reached out like grasping claws. The ground sometimes gave way beneath his feet, revealing patches of quicksand. The jungle was a maze of hidden dangers. He encountered strange and wonderful creatures. Monkeys with brightly colored fur chattered from the trees. Giant snakes, their scales shimmering like jewels, slithered past him. He even saw a tiger, its orange and black stripes blending into the shadows. Aiden was both amazed and terrified. He knew one wrong step could be his last. He pressed on, driven by the compass and his thirst for discovery. Section 5, The Archway and the Rival. Days turned into weeks. Aiden persevered through challenges and close calls. The compass continued to guide him, its blue gem glowing brighter with each passing day. Finally, he stumbled upon a clearing. In the center stood a sight that took his breath away. It was an ancient archway made of weathered stone. Vines and creepers partially obscured it, but Aiden could still make out intricate carvings. They depicted strange creatures and symbols he didn't recognize. The compass in his hand spun wildly, then pointed directly at the archway. As Aiden approached the archway, he heard a rustle in the undergrowth. A figure emerged from the shadows. It was a girl, about his age, with fiery red hair and a determined look in her eyes. She held a map in her hand, identical to his own. "Who are you?" Aiden asked, his hand instinctively reaching for his compass. "Mara," she replied, her eyes narrowing. "And this is my discovery. Stay away from the archway." Section 6, An Uneasy Alliance. Aiden and Mara faced off, their eyes locked in a silent battle of wills. Both teenagers were determined to claim the secrets hidden beyond the archway. They circled each other cautiously, like two predators sizing each other up. Suddenly, the jungle around them erupted in a flurry of movement. Strange creatures with glowing eyes and sharp claws emerged from the undergrowth surrounding the two teenagers. Their hisses and growls echoed through the clearing. Aiden and Mara instinctively knew they couldn't fight this battle alone. They had to put their rivalry aside, at least for now. "Truce," Aiden offered, his hand outstretched. Mara hesitated for a moment, then nodded curtly. "Truce? But once we're through this, the archway is mine." Back to back, Aiden and Mara fought off the creatures. Aiden used his wits and agility, dodging attacks and using his surroundings to his advantage. Mara, on the other hand, was a whirlwind of strength and speed, wielding a pair of daggers with deadly precision. Section 7. Traps and Teamwork. With their combined skills, Aiden and Mara managed to drive back the creatures. Exhausted but unharmed, they caught their breath, their gazes meeting once more. The truce might have been temporary, but the danger they faced together forged a grudging respect between them. The archway beckoned, promising mysteries and dangers. As they stepped through the archway, the jungle seemed to shift around them as if reality itself was being rewritten. They found themselves in a narrow passage lined with strange symbols and carvings. The path was fraught with traps and puzzles. Pressure plates hidden beneath crumbling tiles, false doors that led to dead ends, and riddles inscribed in an ancient language tested their skills and teamwork. Through it all, Aiden and Mara learned to rely on each other. Aiden's quick thinking and knowledge of history helped decipher the riddles, while Mara's agility and sharp eyes spotted the hidden traps. Section 8. The City of Gold. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, the passage opened into a vast chamber bathed in a golden glow. In the center of the chamber stood a magnificent city crafted entirely from gold. Towers gleamed under an artificial sun, and bridges arched gracefully over a river of molten gold. A sense of awe and wonder washed over Aiden and Mara. They had discovered the legendary City of Gold, a place whispered about in myths and legends. But as they stepped into the city, the weight of its history pressed down on them. The silence was eerie, broken only by the soft gurgle of the molten gold. The city, for all its beauty, felt deserted like a ghost of its former glory. A single door, more ornate than the others, stood at the opposite end of the city. It was crafted from what appeared to be pure gold, and adorned with intricate carvings that seemed to writhe and shift before their eyes. The compass in Aiden's satchel pulsed with an almost unbearable intensity, its blue gem glowing like a miniature sun. Section 9. The Door to Destiny. Aiden and Mara stood before the golden door, its surface gleaming under the artificial sun. The silence of the city pressed in on them, amplifying the beating of their hearts. They had faced dangers and overcome challenges to reach this point. But now, a new test awaited them. "What do you think lies beyond this door?" Mara whispered, her voice barely audible above the sound of their own breathing. Aiden shook his head, his eyes fixed on the door. "I don't know," he admitted. "But something tells me this is only the beginning." The carvings on the door seemed to writhe and shift as they approached, forming faces that seemed to mock and challenge them. The air crackled with unseen energy. A low hum resonated from the door, vibrating through the soles of their feet and into their very bones. The compass in Aiden's satchel pulsed with a life of its own, its blue gem casting dancing shadows on their faces. The closer they got, the more the door seemed to pulse with an energy that felt both alluring and dangerous. This was no ordinary door. This was a gateway to the unknown, a door to destiny. And Aiden and Mara, bound by their shared journey, were about to unlock its secrets.